One of the concepts that we learned in our seminar series is the concept of emotional bank accounts. And I know from your feedback that this is one of the concepts that you really resonate with. And I will tell you why. It's because of how true it is. It is so true. It's amazing. When you understand how it works, you see it's happening all over the place. So what is an emotional bank account? Well, an emotional bank account is what's happening in every single human relationship as we figure out how much energy it takes for me to interact with you versus how much energy I get when I interact with you. So what I'm saying is every human relationship operates literally on a hidden point system. We keep track. We keep track of how much energy it takes for me to interact with you versus how much I get when you interact with me. And that, in essence, is the functionality of an emotional bank account. But to really see how it works and to really get it, I want to tell you a story so you can kind of understand this more. So we all understand the concept of a checking account. I mean, hardly any of us write checks anymore, but we have our check cards or whatever it might be. And so, if you go to a store, let's say you go to Best Buy or some electronics store and you want to buy the latest computer or the latest TV, right? Like these curved ones that are driving me nuts because I just bought the flat screen a couple years ago. And now I got to get the curved one, you know what I mean? Why can't I just enjoy what I have? Anyway, the point is that I want to go buy this television and I only have, let's say, $1,000 in the bank and the TV is $7,000 or some ridiculous amount. So I go to swipe my card. Do I get the TV? No. The answer is no. There's not enough money in the bank. However, on the other hand, which is more the case, let's say that I have $100,000 in the bank. I don't. But if I had $100,000 in the bank, I swipe the card and now I get the TV. Why do I get the TV? Because the TV only cost me $7,000. There's enough to cover it. So that's the basic concept. You have to have enough in the bank to buy something. We get that, no problem. But how does that work in human relationships? The way it works in human relationships is if you want a favor from someone, if you ask something of someone, that costs a certain amount of money, right? Maybe that costs 1,000 units. And if you only have 500 units in the bank account with them, you're probably not going to get them to do it. Or it might be done very begrudgingly, right? So on the other hand, if it takes 1,000 units to get this favor done, and you have 100,000 units with this person, a friend or whatnot, it's going to be no problem to have it done. So I like to tell this story to kind of anchor it. I call my friend John, and I say to him, listen, John, I got to move my furniture tomorrow. And, I don't have a lot of time to get the U-Haul truck, so I kind of need your truck. Can I borrow it tomorrow morning? And he says to me, yeah, nice to hear from you, Brian. I haven't heard from you in about 6 months. So, I'm going to be using my truck this whole weekend, and no, you can't borrow it because if I recall, the last time you borrowed it, you brought it back with the gas tank empty, the car was dirty, the truck was dirty, the front left quarter panel was smashed in. I still haven't gotten the insurance money for that, so that's not going to happen. And McDonald's French fries on the floor is disgusting. You're not getting it. So last time I borrowed his truck, let's say that it was, 500 units to borrow the truck, and I gave it back, and I didn't replace the value, right? Had I done it a different way, hey, John, can I borrow your truck? Yeah, no problem at all. You need me to help you come move? I'll help you. I'll be there at 6 in the morning, whatever, right? Why? Because the last time I brought it back to him, I brought it back clean, filled with gas, and I took him out for a fabulous steak dinner. So maybe it was 500 units to borrow the truck, but I put 1,000 units back in when I gave back to him. And so he unconsciously has a tracking system like all of us. How does it feel to interact with Brian? Is it a net positive or is it a net negative? And if it's a net negative, he's not going to want to interact with me. But if it's a net positive, he's going to want to interact with me. All right, I get that. I see that in personal relationships. But how does it operate in business? Here's how it operates in business. If you're a manager and you have an employee and you need them to accomplish something for you, or you ask them to accomplish something, or you want to help them have a breakthrough in their performance, you're requesting something of them, even though they're supposed to do it because it's their job description and they're getting paid for it. That doesn't matter. You're not going to get a high level of performance. You're not going to get someone to alter their behavior and become better at what they do without you having enough in the bank to sort of cover that request or that favor, whatever it might be that you're asking them. Okay, what's the point? The point is that a leader, a person of influence, is always looking for ways to make a deposit in the emotional bank account of an employee. Every time you make a deposit, your balance with them goes up. So when you say to them, listen, this isn't going so well, we really need to take a look at this and see what we can alter, that feeling that they have about, oh gosh, I really don't want to have to deal with this, it's going to be a lot easier for them to say, okay, I get it. Why? Because it's a withdrawal to start working with them on this whatever issue it is, but you have so much in the bank with them, they're willing to give it a shot. And that kind of ties into the experience of trust as well. When you have a high emotional bank account with someone, there's more trust there. So your job in understanding emotional bank accounts is to see, how can I make deposits? Look for ways to make deposits. How do you do that? Well, a nice compliment. You look terrific today. Nice to see you. Right? And maybe you can't use that in business, but you might say something like, I'm really proud of what you accomplished in the last couple weeks, or, you did a really good job here, or, thank you so much for that. Whatever it might be. Whatever you can do to add a deposit, whether it's a little thing like a compliment or a larger thing like recognition, you want to be doing that. And you want to kind of check in with all the relationships around you. What is the status of my emotional bank account with the people around me? Because high emotional bank accounts give me more power to get things done. And that, at the end of the day, is what you have to do.